Yeah, well, it's great here to be on the panel today, and most of the information we have to date on the reshoring trend is anecdotal, but I can say that manufacturing is of critical importance to the U.S. economy. More telling in terms of how important manufacturing is to the future of our economy is that for every $1 of sales related to manufactured goods, you see a return of $1.40 of overall output throughout the economy. And so it's certainly a leader in terms of all the sectors when you look at that input-output model. By comparison, the wholesale and retail trades, for every dollar spent in sales there, you have about 55 to 58% output, economic output. So it was just great to be here today to have lively discussion and great comments from the audience and questions. Certainly a topic of interest, and I hope that the trend continues.
I think the one thing which I would like that people to understand is that the cost of doing business in the U.S., compared to anywhere in the world right now, including when you include the bureaucracy and the real estate and the cost of finance, is the lowest in the U.S., knowing what we know from around the world. And also, I think, by bringing the manufacturing back to the U.S., it should be strategically coupled with the export also. So because the market is expanding everywhere else, and the brand, U.S. brand, has 10 to 15% premium around the world. So when we're looking at the growth, along with the cost cutting, I think bring back the manufacturing to the U.S., but simultaneously also have an export strategy.
Public comment, there's a lot of things that they didn't do, so they're going now and back and doing revisions, and that's supposed to have by the end of September.
It started out
We're supposed to
over a
have
year
it
ago.
final by the end of November. I don't know if you
Well, OIA is basically the industry's voice in Washington, D.C., and so when people are looking for help from the federal government, they should come to OIA, and we can help represent them out in Washington, carry their story to their members of Congress, help facilitate that relationship in Washington, and really make those policymakers aware that this is an ongoing and expanding phenomenon, that this is important to the U.S. economy, and so those companies.
The single biggest concern I heard from most of the companies, and if they make their stuff in Asia or anywhere else in the world, like China, they can find a lot of manufacturers that can make all their different components, and if they reshore here, they can find one. Where do they get the other ones? And they saw that, and I heard that from a lot of people. There's a couple of answers to that. One is what Douglas County is doing is trying to create a cluster, and when we get a cluster of a lot of manufacturing companies all making different components for the same industry, then you can find those parts there, and that's what clusters do. The other thing, the state has resources, which I mentioned to people through our Department of Employment or the Nevada Manufacturers Association, where you can actually find all the manufacturers and everything they make. And it sounds like a lot of other states, from what we heard from the audience, don't have that. They said Colorado doesn't, so they suggested go to the university. But there are resources for that. I think Nevada's ahead of most states in terms of having those resources already, where we can help anybody to find a Nevada company that can source the particular component they're looking for. And as we build these clusters, this is going to even make the solution to the problem much easier.
Took away from it was the pent-up demand that the brands and the manufacturers have to bring their manufacturing back on shore. It was an amazing seminar. I had a lot of comments afterwards that it was probably the best one yet. I had people coming up to the front of the room for an hour and a half after the seminar to pick up our cards, to look for help. We had a great panel, we had a great response, and I think everybody got it that we need to bring these jobs back on shore, and that we have the capability here in the U.S. to get that done, and that as a private sector industry, we can solve our own issues when it comes to this economy. The folks that came up to me after the show were really impressed with Douglas County, the fact that we were involved in this industry and we were creating a landing pad for their brands to find production, our manufacturing capability, our great workforce, and our beautiful environment. We were showing pictures of Lake Tahoe, Genoa Lakes, and they looked at our green valleys and our mountains and our snow peaks, and they go, "Is this Nevada?" I even had one major brand that said, "I'm coming out, I want to buy a house." So they were very, very impressed with what we have to offer in that